Okay, cool. That return on, I was like a little subtle for my taste. Just for now. Just for now. Do something.
Let's exaggerate it to the max. And it's okay if like notes don't come out or it just sounds weird to you. But try to really exaggerate it. And really listen to each other to see, you know, make sure everyone is exaggerating at the same time.
Aha. There you go. Right. And because, okay, when you're slowing down a line of music, in a lot of ways we're feeling like, okay, it's a beat, right? So it's like, so if my heartbeat is slowing down, it's like da 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 da. Okay. Sometimes though it gets so slow that you sort of feel like the beat is becoming the smaller note value. So it's like da 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 da. And like when we're like rehearsing, we usually talk about placing the notes, and that's usually all it means is that we're trying to create like individual beats out of smaller note values. Is that clear enough? Okay, cool. So like that's super cool because then you're playing with the meter and already making it more interesting. Okay, so then go ahead and play like the first string, the thing that repeats over and over. Okay, cool. So this time through, let's work a little bit on being a little bit trickier and cutesier as an ensemble. So Sam's job is going to be you're going to change it up. So when you go da 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 da, just change it up. So sometimes it's going to be super slow and sometimes it's going to be kind of quick and you're going to toss it off, okay? And you guys are going to sort of respond appropriately. So if it sounds like he's like really hamming it up, like Hayden, I want you to be like, dom, dom, you know, like do that bagpipe squeeze in the bag or whatever, okay? And then in your case, you do maybe even shorter staccatos or something like that. Okay, so let's go through and just try playing with it that way. Yeah, cool. You guys caught on to that. So Sam did a couple of things where there was one where you were like really like juicing that high G or something. Like, yeah, right? Like you guys responded appropriately. Like when you did the echo, you were sort of like da 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 da. I can tell you guys heard that, right? And that's the way that you gain cohesion as an ensemble. Okay.
Not to like pop it. Sorry guys, I'm breathing. What is it?
Meta.
Meta.
Hey.
Even sing. And what is this?
Oh, it's a bison born trail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's because, okay, so one time we were all spending the night at my house for like a month, basically. But Brittany went over to her house, and we were like, oh, we're a trio. Well, we just played bison born trios. And I think that was maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've never played one, but I like that. It's cool.
Alright, so why don't we.
Sorry, I'm spamming.
Okay, so the next section that I was thinking, this is sort of skipping around, but there's one section that, in my opinion, it's Weissenborn's fault, not necessarily yours. But there's one that's kind of boring. Like the trio. The trio, yeah, exactly. It's the trio section. Okay, so we need to like find a way to make that everybody's favorite section, even though musically it's not the most compelling. Yeah, so why don't you guys just play it and we'll shoot out some ideas for you guys. That's a little bit like bop, 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 bop. That's sort of how it's notated. All right. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, your part's awesome, actually. I've never heard this before, so he has these arpeggio type thing, like, I think you could really, like, that really, I mean, you know, because it's, like, you can definitely put shape into it, and then you have the coolest thing right here. Like, I would just ham that up and, you know, lots of vibrato, and just really ham it up.
Are you playing at the chromatic?
This, yeah, like, he has that really lyrical line, and,
Just really
you know,
sing it out.
I think you're doing awesome because you're kind of conceding and letting Sam, like, with your sort of melody, but you have these cool counter melodies you can really bring out, and then you can go back to your pa, but take your moment and be like, this is my moment. So.
Right, exactly. So the other thing that makes playing in a bassoon ensemble different from playing in another chamber group that you might do, maybe a woodwind quintet or something, is that the bassoons all have the same timbre, right? So, like, inner voices usually do need to hide a lot so that the melody can be heard, and it's much more drastic than in any other kind of chamber ensemble, especially because we have, like, you know, a mellower sound than like trumpets or something like that. Right.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when we're playing, it feels like when we're inner voice or something, you literally feel like you're playing pianissimo. It doesn't sound like that, but that's what you feel like. And then you have to play your other line out when you're more melody. You feel like you're playing fortissimo. It really doesn't sound that loud, you know, so it is quite stark, right, the contrast.
Right, but like in a moment like what Brittany was sort of pointing out, like in your part, for example, the if there's like something juicy, then we have to go almost another extra mile to make it clear that the inner voice now has a juicy sound going on. So yeah, it's all about this like kind of interesting balance we've got. What I'm thinking in this part is that, okay, in the trio, on the beat one of the sixth bar of the trio, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's like a splat, like low note happening. What if you guys like accented the low note to make it even funnier that there's a low note happening there? So yeah, it's just downbeat in the sixth bar. And you guys can sort of help out on that too. Oh, you'd have da da. Yeah, so in your case, you would like really exaggerate the crescendo. Da 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 da. Because that looks like Weissenborn trying to make something special happen. And you guys can jump in if you want. So yeah, let's try just being juicy. Just try playing it again and be juicy when you need to be juicy. That's okay.
Sorry, I'm like staying.
I know, are we too close? Like, are we stifling people?
Yeah. It's okay, my students, they're probably used to it. I like stand right behind them, like really awkwardly.
Did you guys see that he has a new blood on your case?
Sorry, I was like,
Oh, I know,
right?
right?
It's beautiful.
That's so
Thank you.
like I just. You know, just really, or whatever. You know, man, that's such a cool line. You know.
Okay, so I'm not gonna sound as pretty as Brittany, but there's another thing I was thinking about, which like tell me you guys like disagree with. Since this is a dance, there's a lot like when you're doing a dance about like the stresses, like when you dance, like sometimes you're like down on the floor, and sometimes you're dancing and you're doing something lighter. In this case, I sort of get the feeling that it's like da 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 da, right? So that like really affects the direction that you play. So because the first two bars have a stronger downbeat, I would like go even like, at least in your case, like. That's an A flat, isn't it? But you know what I mean. So like da 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 da, and then you guys can do sort of the same. And then like, okay, so I guess the last thing I'm thinking specifically about this polka, right, or dance music, we play dance stuff. Things repeat all the time. So the ground rule that Brittany was, or someone was mentioning about, that Lauren was mentioning about playing something a bit straighter the first time and then playing it loosey-goosey later on, that can totally apply. Yeah, or I mean,
Probably couldn't tell as much since we use the kazoo, but in that one piece we use different instruments, it repeats a lot. So especially at the end, we like focus on the melody the first time, and then the second time we just, if you're picturing a mixer, we like take the melody down and put up the second one, and you pick out your parts to focus on the different strains.
Or like also in the Barnum and Bailey thing, you know, there were a couple of strains where we played it loud, and then the second time I'd be like soft. And that sounds so basic, like loud, soft, but it's effective, you know. Just keep bassoon, unfortunately, in some ways.
It's like the gentle giant.
And you have to go over the top, and a lot of times, like, my students will play notes, and they sound great. They're just like playing a scale. Like that, and I'm like, so is that as loud as you can play? Like, I don't want you to be like bombastic and in my face, but like, let's use air. Like, we want to make a big sound. So then I say, look, just trust me, do 150% more air, and then, you know, it sounds better. So I guess my point is like, y'all can play out, especially in bassoon quartet. I mean, and you can sort of experiment with like getting loud and soft, and don't play that sound. I hate that sound.
cool. So why don't you guys do like just perform it for us now? Just play. Yeah.
And forget everything we just said and play.
Yeah.
Let it just like be
That's
in the back of
thing
your
about-
brain.
yeah, that's the thing about performing, like.
Forget about like, oh, this fingering and blah. Just play.
Yeah.